I am so excited to get started with our learning about contractions. So, this week we are learning about three new types of contractions. And I wanted to first start our lesson by thinking about the word inside of the word contraction, so that root word contract. So, if you take a look at our screen, I have kind of like a definition of what contract means. It says to contract means when something gets smaller. So, what I brought along with me is one of Handel's favorite toys. We call it his streamer toy. It's like a weird mouse situation on a elastic string. Okay. So, if I were to pull this, it is expanding, it is getting bigger. But the opposite of expand is to contract, which means that it gets smaller. So expand gets bigger, contract is when it gets smaller. Now, I want you to think about what this might mean in terms of the word contraction. How does this idea of getting smaller apply to the idea of contraction? So, I want you to think about that really quick. And what I was thinking when I thought of how the word contract means to get smaller, I was immediately reminded that a contraction is when you take two words, you eliminate or get rid of some letters and replace them with an apostrophe. And so you're literally taking two words and making it smaller, contracting it together so that way it's smaller, quicker, and easier to use. That's a really cool way to connect that idea of contract to contractions. So this week we are working on the contractions are, is, and have. Now these are pretty easy contractions in terms of what you need to get rid of and what do you replace with an apostrophe. So I just reminded us of the rules down here. So if you have two words that have a pronoun and then are, like they are, you are, all you have to do is drop the A and replace it with an apostrophe. You're done. It's not a very complicated one. That's all you have to do. And then those two words then will represent the pronoun plus are. Our next one is. All you have to do with this one, again, is drop the I, replace it with an apostrophe. Easy schmeezy. And our last one is have. This one, you have to drop the H and the A and then replace it with an apostrophe. And then you're left with a VE at the end. So what we're going to do for just a quick practice before you jump over to Seesaw today is you're going to take a look at you and are. So we have the two words you plus are. How can we smash them down and contract them and make it smaller? Well, I know that when you have the are and you want to make it into a contraction, you just have to drop that A and replace it with an apostrophe. So I just write the base word you, apostrophe, R-E, your. So you are nice would turn into you're nice. Then our next one is he is. So I'll go back up here, look at my rules, drop the I and replace it with an apostrophe. So he, apostrophe S, he's. He is a good student, or he's a good student mean the same thing. He is and he's. And our last one, they have. So go back up to my rules. All I have to do is drop the H and the A and replace it with an apostrophe. So I do my base word, they, apostrophe, VE. They have a garden, or they've a garden. Our next one, we're going to take a look at some sentences. We have to identify what two words can be made into the contraction, and then we're going to make it into the contraction in our sentence. So, I have never been to Six Flags. Which of these words can we contract to make smaller into one word? Yeah, it's our I have. That can be shrunk down, contracted into a contraction. So if it's a have, we look up here, we drop the H and the A. So all I have to do is back up and say no H, no A, put an apostrophe in their place. I've never been to Six Flags. The next one, they are best friends. So what two words? Say them out loud. So they and are are my two words I can make smaller into a contraction. And with are, let's go up and look at my rule. We just have to drop the A. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to erase the A and replace it with an apostrophe. They're best friends. They are best friends or they're best friends. Means the same thing. Then our last one, she is going to have so much fun at camp. Say the two words that can be my contraction. Good, she is. And for my is, all I have to do is drop the I and replace it with an S. So I'm going to take away that I and then replace it with an S. She's going to have so much fun at camp. So today on your seesaw activity, you do not need to print it out. All you are doing is reading the sentence with a contraction in it and then circling the two words that the contraction represents. If you finish super quickly, you can always practice your 10 spelling words using sailboat writing, rainbow writing, bubble writing, or fancy letters. And you don't need to submit that to me. That's just for extra practice. But do go ahead and circle and submit within Seesaw with your activity. Okay, first grade? I will see everyone later. Have a good day.